Welcome to the second 8-week MAP Pilates class for the spring semester. I'm Coach Nash, and I am teaching this class from my home, so welcome to my home as well. Hopefully you're looking forward to the next 8 weeks. I am, and I'm ready to share with you all that is a part of this class, which is a lot. I understand that, going 4 days a week, is quite a task. However, what I'd like you to, look forward to is that this is time for you to focus just on you and reaping the benefits of learning the great fitness of MAP Pilates. So I'm hoping that you're going into this semester, these next 8 weeks, with an open mind and an open heart, and looking forward to learning some great strength exercises and increasing your flexibility, and a lot of really powerful, positive things go on within these sessions. So today is our first assessment. So what's going to happen is I'm going to go ahead and take you through our first assessment exercises that you'll be testing. The form, which you will have uploaded to your computer or downloaded to your computer so that you could fill out your results, that form you'll see has a column of 1s and then a column of 2s. What we are doing today is we are answering all the 1s. So the 1 column and the 2 column, that's for the time that we do the assessment. So the first time we do the assessment is the 1s, second time we do the assessment at the end of the semester after the 8 weeks is the 2, okay? So I don't want you to get confused about whether or not we're doing each exercise 2 times. We're not, we're just doing it once, okay? The other thing to keep in mind is you haven't learned anything, right? So this is the first time you're going to actually attempt anything in this class. And so obviously there's going to be a learning curve between now and the end of the semester, and so you will see results, improvements. So today I just want you to just be very aware of my voice, my cues, watching me demonstrate and trying to follow along the best that you can, because obviously I'm not there with you, right? So just want to make sure that you're, in a good position, a good place in your home, wherever you're watching this video. You do want to be working out on a mat. So if you don't have a mat, please try to get one for yourself. A yoga mat is fine. I have a Pilates mat, it's a little denser. A rug on the carpet, it's fine, except it's just not the same, okay? It's adequate. So that's what you're gonna need. You're also gonna need pretty good Wi-Fi to be able to follow along with the videos, okay? So without any interruption or glitching out, because the Canvas platform will be recording your time watching the video. It's not recording you doing it, it's just recording the time that you're putting into the video, and so that strong Wi-Fi will help with that as well, okay? So the first thing you're going to want to do is have a piece of paper next to you, or in a pen or a pencil, and your phone or a clock nearby so that you can look at a time, okay? Because that's the first thing we're going to do, is the breath test. So what you're going to do is you're going to write down on your piece of paper for now, or log it into your phone, the name of the exercise and then the result you will get for each exercise. Then you'll take that information and you'll transfer that to the form on your computer, and then I'll talk to you about saving that and then submitting it later, okay? So you're not getting points for viewing and going along with the video, you're getting points for the results on the form, if that makes sense. Good. Okay, so before we start anything, we're going to go ahead and do our breath test. So write down on your paper or log in your phone, breathing. And so when we breathe in Pilates, most of the time, probably over 80% of the time, we're breathing as efficiently as we can and as slowly as we can. When I say efficiently, that just means that we're trying to take the deepest inhale that we can, and then we're trying to blow that air out as slow as we can and as far as we can. So we're going to test our one breath by practicing that, okay? So you're going to need a clock. You're going to time this, or you can actually count it in your head. It's up to you. But I like to see like an actual visual time of my breathing. So make sure you're in a comfortable position. You don't have to be kneeling. You can be seated. Just make sure you're seated tall. And what you're going to do is you're going to breathe. That's it. One breath. So you're going to start your timer or start watching the clock when you start to inhale. And when you start to breathe in, either through your nose or your mouth, it's up to you, you're going to really start slowly pulling that breath in as deep as you can. And then the most important part of the breathing test is that transition from your inhale to your exhale. So when you get to that point where you need to exhale, because you're not holding your breath, you're going to slowly push that breath out. And you can do that through your nose or your mouth. And you're going to take that exhale as far as you can take it until you're done, which means the clock stops, you stop counting, and that's it. You're just breathing one time, and you're going to time it, okay? So go ahead and time one breath, inhale, and then exhale, and then write down your result. Go ahead and do that now. I'll wait for you. Okay, so you just wrote down your result for your breath test, and we're going to go ahead and move on to the rest of the assessment. And before we do that, we're going to go do a little bit of warming up. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to be kneeling at this time, and we're going to do what's called a chest expansion. And so we're basically just warming up our trunk, okay, from our lumbar area, our lower back, up through our thoracic area, which is our upper chest here, okay? So we're going to do what's called a scoop or C-spine. And so what that means is I'm just going to pull my middle of my trunk back, and then I'm going to tilt my hips forward, and I'm going to round my shoulders forward. See this? So my glutes are engaged when my hips come forward slightly, and then I'm pulling my abdominals in and back, and then I'm shrugging my shoulders forward. See this? And then I'm going to come out and expand my chest, tall with my arms out at my sides. And then again, I'm going to round my back. I'll talk about scooping later, but we're C-spining, kind of the shape of a C, right? And we're trying to just round and flatten, okay? So nice and tall on the expansion. So just warming up that trunk. Good. All right, so we're gonna do the same type of exercise in a table position, which is hands and knees. And we're gonna do what's called cat and cow. So you're gonna come down to your hands here, and the same idea here, but in a table position. So I'm going to pull my hips forward, round my back, and drop my head. So this is your cat. And from here, I'm going to flatten, so drop my abdominals, tilt my hips back up, and bring my head up, which is my cow. So I'm just gonna alternate between the two, cat and cow. So it's dynamic stretching. All right, so the next exercise is called dynamic. So I'm going to bring my hands forward slightly at the end of the mat. I'm going to bring my hips down, flat back, and then I'm going to transfer my weight, my hips back, and then forward. Hips forward and hips back. Hips forward, hips back. So this is dynamic. So we're warming up our hips. We're also lengthening our arms here by stretching off the sides of our trunk here, by keeping our hands in place. And you feel it in your low back as well. So it's like child's pose in yoga, right? Good. Okay, from here, I want you to come to a seated position. Okay, so we are going to warm up our top of our leg here, so our hips into our pelvis here. And so what's going to happen is we're going to go between two different warm-up exercises. Today we're just doing one before we test. And this is a seated leg circle. So I'm going to lean back on my hands, my back flat. I'm going to elevate one leg, keeping it bent. I'm just going to circle. The whole leg is circling. So you should feel that in that hip, top of the quad there, in the groin area, and we're going to reverse the circle. And then we're going to switch legs. So we're just warming up. In reverse. And stop, lean forward. Okay. So our first test, actual test, first exercise, it's called the 100. So write down the 100, okay? Now, what you're going to practice is it's a synchronization, okay, of pumping of the arms and counting with breathing, okay? So it's warming up our abdominals, our hips by holding the legs, and the arms with the pumping. But the confusing part becomes when you start to count, because you're doing a couple of things. You're breathing, pumping, and counting, okay? A few things. So I'm going to demonstrate what you're going to do. It's called the 100 because there's 100 pumps in the exercise, pumps of the arms. So go ahead and do this for me. Bring your arms out with your palms facing down, straight arms. And I want you to pump up and down just about 5 to 6 inches, okay? This is what the pumping is. So I'm going to count 5 pumps for my inhale. So, and then I'm going to count 5 pumps for my exhale. See that? So, one total breath is 10 total pumps. Does that make sense? So you're actually only breathing 10 breaths in this exercise because it's 10 pumps per breath times 10 is 100, so 100 pumps. So you're going to test the 100 and see how far you can go with the 100. And not all of you will be able to complete the 100, so you're going to pay attention by counting. Because when you sacrifice form, meaning the head comes down or the legs come down or you just can't do it and you just tap out, right? You need to know where you stopped. So you need to be counting and then you'll write that result down. Otherwise, if you get all the way to 100 pumps or 10 total breaths, you're just going to write 100, okay? So let me demonstrate. I'm going to be on my back, so I'm going to come down carefully, okay? Now what's going to happen is I'm going to be lifting my head up off the mat and my shoulders. And I'm going to be pressing my abdominals down, connecting my back to the mat. So it's the pumping is here. So I'm going to keep my chin down. So I'm looking down at my belly button. See this? That's what's happening. However, my legs are going to be off the mat. So my legs are going to be just above hip height. They're straight and they're held. So I'm scooping, which means I am tightening, contracting the muscles in my abdominals by pressing them down into the mat and holding them there. And then I hold this position while I pump and breathe. So just watch me. This is the demonstration. Ready? while I'm doing that, I'm keeping count on my finger how many breaths I'm taking. Okay? So what I do is I hold my hands like this. As soon as I've completed one breath, 5 inhale, 5 exhale, I drop a finger. And then I go, that's 2. And then that's 3. And then that's 4. And then that's 5, right? And then I go to 6. And then I go to 7. And then I can't do it anymore. And I didn't drop my 8th finger. So I completed 7 out of the 10 total breaths, or 70 out of 100 total pumps. Does that make sense? So I want you to go ahead and pause the video. Just press pause. Do your 100 exercise, keep count, and then write down your results, and then press play on the video and come on back, okay? You finished your first exercise for testing. I'm sure it was challenging for you. Obviously everything that we do today is gonna be better the second time, right? So that's a warm-up exercise, the 100, that we will do every single session. So we'll get better at that. The next exercise is called FAB 5. So write down FAB, F-A-B, 5, number 5, on your piece of paper or in your phone, right? And then we're going to go ahead and go through it together. So I'm going to demonstrate each exercise so you can practice each exercise first, and then we're going to put them all together and go through the routine together. So just do a couple of movements for each one. You don't want to get too tired before we test, okay? So here we go. This is called single leg. So you're going to come down to your back. Anytime my head and shoulders are up off the mat, I want to bring my chin down to my chest, and I want to scoop, which means I contract my abdominal muscles, pressing them down into the mat, okay? So I'm going to bring my head and shoulders up. I'm going to bring my knees in, hands over the top of the knees. And from here, I'm going to let one leg go, and I'm just going to gently pull this bent leg in line with my body here. And then I'm going to switch. See that? That's single leg. So right and left leg pull is 1. Right and left leg pull is 2. That's that exercise. So just practice a couple. Double leg is next. That just means we go from pulling one leg in to pulling both legs in. So my head and shoulders are up off the mat. Watch me. So I'm going to let go of my legs, extend my legs out, and reach back with my arms. And then I'm going to sweep my arms around and pull my knees in again. So watch. This is a double leg. 1. Go ahead and practice double leg. And then rest. The third exercise is called crisscross. So it's the most different from the 5. Okay, single leg is first, double leg is second, crisscross is third. The legs are going to do the same movement as single leg, so one leg in, one leg out. But I'm going to pull my trunk up across to meet my elbow with my opposite knee. So watch me. Head and shoulders up, scooping, chin to chest. I'm going to bring my hands behind my neck. And I'm going to extend my right leg and come across to my left knee. See this? I keep my shoulders elevated and I just come across my rib cage to meet the other knee. So left knee, right knee, that's 1. Left knee, right knee, that's 2. So practice a couple of crisscrosses and then rest. The fourth exercise is single straight. So remember the first exercise was called single leg. The fourth exercise is single straight. So it's the same movement as single leg, except our leg is straight. So it looks like this. Legs all the way up, head and shoulders up. I'm just going to gently pull on the back of this right leg, and I'm going to drop my left leg. And then I'm going to switch. So right leg pull, left leg pull. That's 1. So the legs have to come up to start both of them to count as one. That's 2. So practice a couple of single straights. And then we have the 5th exercise. It's double straight. So single leg, double leg, crisscross, single straight, double straight. Okay, so this is the most challenging besides crisscross. I feel like crisscross is very challenging for a lot of people, but both legs are up, head and shoulders up again, hands behind the neck again, and we're going to lower both legs slowly down and slowly up. Okay, so that's the double straight. Okay, so because we haven't practiced just what we've practiced with nothing more, this is going to be challenging for you. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to go through each exercise. It's continuous. It's 5 repetitions of each exercise in a row until we get to the end of double straight. If for some reason you stop short of the double straight, so say you go single leg with me, double leg with me, crisscross with me, and then you don't get to single straight, you're going to write 3, which means you were only able to complete 5 repetitions of 3 exercises. If you complete single straight but you don't complete double straight, you're going to put 4. So 4 exercises were completed at 5 repetitions. If you get all the way through double straight with me, you're going to write 5, and that 5 represents 5 repetitions of the 5 exercises. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm going to go with you on this, but you're going to make sure that you write down whatever your result is if you stop short of the 5. All right, here we go. Listen for my cues. Knees are in, head and shoulders up. We're going to begin with single leg. Here we go. Right, left is 1, right, left is 2, right, left is 3, right, left is 4, right, left is 5. Double leg. Remember to breathe. Out, sweep around, that's 1, out, sweep around, that's 2. Don't hold your breath. Breathe. 3, 4, 5. Crisscross. Put your hands behind your neck, and we're going to extend right, come across left, switch, that's 1. That's 2. That's 3, 4, and 5. We're going to go single straight, hands here, drop one leg, and the other, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Double straight is next. Both legs up, hands behind the neck, slowly lower, keep breathing, scooping, meaning tightening, pressing the abs down. This is 2. This is 3, 4, and 5. And rest. Good job. So if you finished with me, just put 5 next to Fab 5, and you're good. Okay. So I'm going to let you rest a little bit while I'm explaining the next exercise. You're going to write down roll up on your paper. And roll up is very challenging. It's very difficult for a lot of people. So don't get discouraged. Just do the best you can. We're only going to do 1. So we're going to attempt 1 roll up. And just so you know, when we start practicing for this exercise at the next session, we're not going to start with this testing position. So we're going to test with straight legs, but we won't start practicing with straight legs. So this is challenging. So watch me. Roll up is like a sit-up with straight legs and straight arms, okay? The most important part of the roll up is controlling your core. So your hips, your abdominals, your lower back are very important in this exercise. And how we're going to do this is we're going to press your lower back down into the mat as you start to pull your trunk up. You're going to contract the muscles in your abdominals. You're going to press that back into the mat. You're going to engage your glutes, tighten your glutes, and you're going to pull using your hips and your abdominals up. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to start with my arms outstretched behind my head. I'm going to sweep my arms. As soon as I see my arms here, I'm going to start to lift my head. I'm going to reach forward, pulling my shoulders up off the mat, and then I'm pressing my back, tightening my glutes, coming all the way up and over my legs. And then I'm going to come down and return the same way I went up, which is lower back connects to the mat, and then my middle back, upper back, and my head. Okay? So it's going to be hard because I really want you to do it that slow. Okay? So watch me. This is what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to do that. That's momentum driven. Okay? This is what I don't want you to do. Okay, that's not good form, right? So, let me demonstrate again. You may get stuck here. You're going to sweep, lift, and you get stuck. You can't go any further, right? So you're going to write down that your upper back was off the floor. So you'll put upper back off floor. You may get stuck here. That's it. Shoulder blades off floor. That's what you write down. You might get to here, and you just can't get up there, right? But your whole back is off the floor, and that's what you're going to write. So again, you're going to sweep, press those abs down, tighten those glutes, and pull yourself up using your strength, okay? So make sure you're breathing. Go ahead and pause the video. You're going to attempt a roll up, and then write down your results, whatever they are, and then come on back to me. Press play. All right, so you attempted a roll up or you completed a roll up. Good job. We're going to move on to the next exercise, and we're going to test our strength of our upper body. This is called the push-up leg pull down. So write down push-up, pull down on your paper or in your phone. And you're going to decide whether or not you're going to do a modified push-up or a traditional push-up. So if you know you can only do a push-up with your knees on the floor, you're going to circle modified or write modified. If you do push-ups with your knees off the floor, you're going to do a traditional, okay? So I'll show both. This is what's going to happen. So you're going to go into your position. So if you're going to do modified, your knees are on the mat, your hips are down, your arms are leading your shoulders about shoulder width apart, and you do your push-up. Your whole trunk comes down. Then you pull your knees up into high plank here, and from here, this is the pull down. I lift one leg, and I transfer my weight back on my heel, and I bring that leg down, and I lift the other leg, and I transfer my weight back on my heel, come back to high plank, return the knees to the floor, and start again, okay? So you'll do as many of those as you can in a row until you stop or you feel comfortable, good with a number, right? Traditional looks like this. It's just the knees off the floor. So I'm going to push up, pull down, that's one, and then repeat. okay? All right, so decide which one you're gonna do. And then, so I'll pause the video, do your push-up leg pull down, and then come on back. So your heart rate probably increased, right? And you're breathing a little bit more rapidly for that push-up exercise. That's normal. We're gonna do what's called spine stretch. So write down spine stretch. And this is a position of flexibility. So we're gonna practice the exercise, but we're gonna actually stick a position and write down where our hands lie on the position, okay, for the flexibility. So go ahead and sit up with your legs outside the width of your mat or just outside your hips. So you have this V position of your legs. So this is a flexibility exercise. And we're gonna test the flexibility of our back and our glutes and our hamstrings. So we're gonna warm up first. So go ahead and sit up tall, reach up, lean forward, and then you're gonna round your back and pull your arms back into top here, and then flatten your back and reach up. And start again. Lean forward with a flat back, pull in with a rounded back, up tall with a flat back. Breathe. So we're just warming up. You should feel this, right? In your lower back, your glutes, your hamstrings. Let's go one more. Good. Okay, so the test is where my hands fall, okay, at the extent of my reach. So watch me. I'm going to lean as far forward as I can and then drop my hands. And then I'm going to write down something where I know where my hands drop. So for me, I'm going to put wrists at heels. So my wrists came all the way to my heels. For some of you, it might be your fingertips at your heels or at your ankles, or maybe you just get to right about here and that's as far as you can go and you drop your arms. And you could write down that your elbows are at your knees, okay? So just something, a little bit of a descriptor. So go ahead and do your spine stretch and then write down your result and I'll wait for you. All right, are you ready? Okay, so let's turn over and we're gonna do what's called Superman pulls. So write down Superman pulls on your paper or in your phone, and then I'll demonstrate, and then you're gonna do this on your own, okay? So we're gonna come over onto our tummies. So this is back strength exercise. We're testing our back strength. So our arms are slightly outstretched, slight bend of the elbows, and what's going to happen, the Superman exercise is arms and legs lift, right? That's our Superman. So we press our hips down, we tighten our glutes, and we lift arms and legs, but we're breathing, don't hold your breath. This is the pull part. Watch. I lift, I pull my elbows back at my sides, extend my arms back out, and then I lower. That's one. Up, in, out, two. Up, in, out, three. So I'm going to count how many Superman pulls I can do until I stop or I feel good about my number, okay? So go ahead and pause the video, do your Superman pulls, write your result down, and then press play and come on back. All right, so you just finished Superman pulls. So now we're gonna go into personal goals. So at the end of the form, you'll see it says personal goals, right? So what I want you to do is write down some goals that you have for the semester. You're gonna be practicing 4 sessions per week. We have 8 weeks, So it's approximately 30, 31 classes that you'll be participating in. And even though it's a short semester, it's a lot going on, a lot of activity, right? And so what kind of goals would you like to see? Maybe it's based on the assessment. So maybe you weren't able to complete the Fab Five, so that's what you want. You want to be able to complete the Fab Five with 5 repetitions, or maybe you'd like to see improvement there, like 7 repetitions of your Fab Five. Maybe you weren't able to complete the roll-up and you'd like to see yourself be able to complete a full roll-up by the end of the semester. Whatever it is, just make sure it's real specific, those goals. You can put as many goals as you want. Make sure you understand that it should be time related, meaning that you only have 8 weeks and 4 days per week is a lot, but it's really only 8 weeks. So what do you think you could accomplish during that time? And just make sure it's realistic, so your goals are real, like you could actually fulfill or accomplish these goals, okay? Keeping in mind the 4 sessions per week for 8 weeks. All right, that's it. You're gonna write down those goals, and when you transfer this information into that form, so what you want to do is click on the form, right? Download that form to your computer, fill in the form, save it on your computer, and then you can submit the form back to me through the Canvas, okay? So that's what you're gonna do. If you have some kind of question about that, just reach out to me. You can always send it to me in an email if you need to, but it should be pretty simple. So if you have any questions, just reach out through Canvas. And that's it. And so next time I see you, I will see you for our first session. All right, good job. Bye.